probably can't see Pete, but Pete is Pete and I are here to welcome you to our very first video of 2017. I'm pretty excited about this, and if you are an email subscriber, you already know that we have a really exciting 2017 coming. I sent a message out to my email list last week telling them about some of the exciting things we have coming, and I got a good response that people are excited about that. So thank you, Jesus. We're going to have a great year this year. Anyway, if you'd like to be an email subscriber, you can. I shouldn't point my post-it note at you. If you'd like to be an email subscriber, just look over here on this side, up and down here, for the red banner. Subscribe. You just put your email address and your name in, and then I'll send you emails when we have a new recipe come out, or when I have special tips or information just for email subscribers. Pretty soon my email subscribers will be receiving, if they want, a free book. So keep a watch for that. Anyway, if you'd like to subscribe, look right over here, put your name and email address in, and you'll be on my list, and I'll send you free happy stuff when I get it. Anyway, you'll see if you look around, I'm in my office. The lighting in my kitchen is just terrible. It's terrible for doing videos. So I thought it'd be best maybe if I talked about the recipe from my office here, and then I'll cut in with pictures and that kind of thing of the recipe. So today's recipe I am terribly excited about. I am so excited about this. It is delicious. It is so delicious. Anyway, last week, and this is for some of you readers, I got more response. I sent out a question asking my readers through the email list again, asking them what their biggest frustration in the kitchen is. And you know what the #1 response was? The #1 response was that you live alone, or that you're just cooking for you and your spouse now, and so you don't have any need for family recipes and you don't really cook anymore. That's so sad. Why don't you cook for yourself? Don't you like to eat good food too? I know I do. So, one day last week I was here all by myself. Mark was working late and Sandy was at work, and it was just me. And I created this recipe just for me. I had 1 chicken breast and there was 1 left over, which I enjoyed the next day for lunch. And this is a delicious, I mean, this is restaurant quality food. So if I can do that for myself, just creating it out of the blue, I know you can cook this for yourself. It doesn't even take long. This recipe is fast. This is like a total 40 minutes in and out of the kitchen total, not including washing the dishes, which I hate to do. Okay, I don't mind washing dishes so much anymore, but I used to hate it. Now it's kind of therapy. I listen to the radio and, you know, dance a little while I'm in the kitchen. But anyway, back to the recipe. I got off in the weeds there. Sorry about that. So this recipe, here's what you do. And if this video turns out right, I'll have some pictures coming in while I'm talking. First things first, choosing your chicken. If you have the opportunity to buy fresh chicken, then please do that. The flavor is so much better than store-bought chicken. But it's hard to find fresh chicken like from a local farmer. But if you can find that, do it. Do it. It is worth it. It will be a little bit more expensive. But the truth is this. If I can get a picture of it, I'll show you. But just look, next time you buy some chicken, how much water is in that chicken. If you buy frozen chicken breast and you lay it out to thaw, look at all the water that comes running out of that chicken. But if you get fresh chicken from the farmer, you're only going to be paying for the meat that you're buying. So I'm not sure where the cost comes in at. I know the fresh is going to be more expensive, but it tastes better. Second thing about this recipe that makes it so flavorful. There's a step in here where you reduce chicken broth from 2 cups down to 1 cup. You may be saying, well, why not just put 1 cup of chicken broth in there and be done with it? Because, the reason is because first you gotta deglaze your pan, so that you're gonna lose some in steam anyway. But secondly, as that chicken broth reduces, the flavor goes through the roof. It just goes right through the roof. The flavor increases exponentially as that broth reduces. So you can't replace that by just using less broth. If you skip that step, you've ruined the recipe. Garlic. I know I have some readers who don't like garlic. You can make this recipe without the garlic, but I'd recommend you just find a different recipe if you need, like you do fettuccine or something like that. The garlic really makes this recipe. The sun-dried tomatoes. Now I'm using sun-dried tomatoes in oil. I think you can get them packed in water too. I don't think it really matters. Just kind of dry them off a little bit before you chop them. But you want the pieces to be pretty small. Like that small. Maybe lima bean size. And the reason for that is because when you chew a sun-dried tomato, they have a funny texture. And anybody that's sensitive to texture might be sensitive to that. So be kind to people who are sensitive to textures. I'm one of them. Anyway, when you put your spinach in, it looks like a ton of spinach, but it will wilt and get really small. So don't worry about that. For this recipe, all you do, it is very simple. It takes very little time. You put just a tiny bit of oil in the pan, and you're going to say to yourself, that's not enough oil to fry that chicken. And we're not frying the chicken. We're just going to sear it. So you really only want enough to sear it. And if some of the chicken sticks to the bottom of the pan, that's okay, because that will add flavor to our sauce ultimately. So sear it, cook it just for a couple minutes on each side. Another word about the chicken breast. If you buy a chicken breast and it is one of these big honking thick boogers like this thick, that's too thick. You can't do that for this recipe. You won't have enough time to cook it. If it's this thick, take a knife and cut it in half that way, so that you have two. You just expanded your chicken investment anyway. So if it's this thick, cut it in half. If you have a chicken breast that's only that thick, that's what you want to have for this recipe. Sear the chicken, set it aside. Now you're going to have some brown bits in your pan. You're going to add your garlic in there. Let that saute that garlic for, I don't know, a minute or so. It's just to get that spiciness out of the garlic. Then add your 2 cups of chicken broth. It will come to a boil, and this is what takes the longest of this whole recipe. So let that reduce by half, and this is not an exact measurement. You don't have to take it out and measure it, just eyeball it. When the pan goes from being like this to being like this, done. But it takes a while. It's just going to boil off. It'll boil and boil and boil. That'll get some of those brown bits off the bottom of the pan. This is flavor enhancing steps. Once that's done, add your cream, add everything else. Cream, sun-dried tomatoes, spinach, Parmesan. A little salt and pepper. That's another thing. You sear your chicken breast, make sure you salt and pepper it. It's important. It's in the directions, but I wanted to make sure you add it. Then once that's all in there and your spinach has wilted and your cream has started to thicken, and how thick this is really up to you. I like mine a little thicker because I like for it to cling to the noodles. You might like it a little thinner. It's really up to you. Whenever it is the thickness that you would like, then put your chicken back in. And it will get thicker the longer you cook it. So Just stop cooking when it's as thick as you like. Put your chicken back in, and when the chicken's done, it's done. And then you can serve it over noodles. I'm going to have mine tonight, I think, on some crusty bread. I think that's going to be delicious. You could serve it on rice. You could serve it just with a side of baked potato or scalloped potatoes. Any kind of starchy thing would be great with this. If you're on a low-carb diet, I think this would be a fantastic recipe. You could have it with salad. That would be good. That would be really good. Anyway, so I hope you enjoy this recipe. I hope it's perfect. I hope it's everything that you wanted. I hope you fix it for a date night or a special occasion. I hope that you fix it for you. For you. Like I did for me. You know what I did? I fixed myself a plate, and then I went in the living room and I watched what I wanted to watch on TV. It was a great night. Anyway, email me back and let me know how this turned out for you. Subscribe to the list so that you get all the special tips and tricks, and so you'll get that free book when it comes out. And thanks for visiting, and if you have any questions, just shoot me an email. I'm right here.